So a sad day, man. Unfortunately, we got some bad news
Yeah,
this week. Obviously, the passing of Shawn Rhoden is tragic.
yeah,
Obviously,
man. I took it pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I want to talk to you about that. Obviously, rest in peace to Shawn Rhoden. Condolences to his family and friends. Talk about that. When you heard the news, how personally, what did it mean to you, him passing away?
The way I found out was like the way I don't want to find out. I'd rather just like open up my Instagram and see it there. But I had to get texts just saying that Sean is dead, and I'm like, what? Like, come on, dude. And when you get like three or four of them, it's real. It's not like some bullshit. So I was like, that's what I woke up to, and I just went and looked, and I was just devastated. And I laid in bed. Honestly, I didn't even start my day. It was really hard for me to get out of bed. Took about 4 hours. But yeah, um, it just sucks, man. I was just talking to him,
Oh, really?
a couple of weeks, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, and I really feel like, from what I know, um, through Sean throughout the years, we've talked, we would keep in touch a lot. Um, but what I do know is I don't think steroids or anything like that is what killed him. I think a broken heart is what killed him. Stress because he couldn't do what he loved, and I think it hurt him. He was an Olympian champion, and he wanted to redeem himself, and they wouldn't let him over some bullshit of what a girl said. They just took the girl's word. There was no proof. There was no nothing. Just because a girl said that she was touched, they had to do all this to him and just crush his dreams. And I think that's what really crushed him the most was I think his heart was in pain that he couldn't do what he loved.
Yeah, that's very sad. What was your last conversation like, if you don't mind me asking?
Actually, I said it on my Instagram. Go check out my last post on Instagram. Um, he told me that he wanted to be Craig Golias, huge, next time he was on stage, and it really cheered me up, made me feel good, man, because he could have said Rami huge or another mass monster huge, but he said me, and I'm not even a pro, so um, I thought that was so cool to hear him say that. Made me feel good, made me feel accomplished. Um, he just always had great things to say. He was such a positive guy, and he was just very humble.
Even though there's been a lot of travesty happening in the bodybuilding industry, right? I just still can't fully believe that Sean, passed away. Um, what's I noticed you said something, and obviously, his death caused like a huge amount of back and forth, right? A lot of people in the comments and emails was flooded, like it was crazy, like people asking questions. What happened? Obviously, from what we know, he passed away from a heart attack, right? But all these questions and people want to know the answers immediately and all that stuff. But I noticed you posted something where you said, like I feel concerned now." What did you mean by that? I think it was one of your comments, like you said, "I feel concerned for myself" or something like that. Something like that you said. I have to look
Yeah,
up exact.
that was on Generation Iron, actually. Yeah, I just then Kelly Muscle had a heart attack, so I just like decided it's time to take a break right now. Plus, it makes more sense. It's winter. I'm still pushing through an injury, so it just makes more sense to try and ease up a little bit. Um, I'm still maintaining a pretty high weight without even trying. So, I feel by, maybe cutting back to a TRT right now for a while would be good on me, drop some weight and, give the heart a little less stress.
You mentioned the broken heart thing, right, for Sean. And that's something I wanted to ask you because I keep hearing it like a lot of back and forth again between the fans right now, and people are saying that the industry turned their back on Sean. Right? That's what I keep hearing a lot.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
don't
Worked it.
specify like who in the industry specifically. They just say the industry. You know what I'm saying? But like, who do you think specifically like turned the back on him? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the judges, the IFBB, they wouldn't let him compete. And for what? Because a girl said something. I mean, there's no proof there. A girl could just been talking out her ass. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Shawn would do anything like that. You know what I mean? He was a really kind man. But even if he did, like the proof, you need the proof. You can't just take away a man's career and his life and his dreams over something a girl said. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's no fair. Like, they were just so easy to rip his passion away from him, and that's his money maker too. That's his career. So you're taking a man's career away too. Not only taking his career, you're taking his passion, what he lives for. He's been doing this for a long time, you know. And then he finally got that title, and he could have probably got it again and again and again. Man, who knows, dude? He's the king of symmetry, and they love that. You know, he could have been going against Rami. Like, it's just no fair, man. And I think the stress is what hurt.
Absolutely, but I didn't know too much at all about what was happening behind the scenes. I know that the case was going. I don't even want to get into the case because it's nothing to do with this conversation, right? What I'm trying to get to is this. Um, Behind the scenes, I guess he wasn't allowed to compete anymore, right? He was prevented from doing it, from what I understand. But
Yeah.
Shawn would still appear at various industry events, whether it's an expo, a guest appearance at a show. Like I've seen pictures and various things, right? So I guess he was allowed to certain events, but not certain other events, right? Is that how you understand it?
I don't know. I just know he wasn't allowed to compete. That's all I know. And as far as doing expos and stuff like that, he's got to make his money. He still has a name in the industry, so he can still make money off of that.
It's very sad looking back at it now, right? Because when he won the Olympia, it was almost like it was a new era in bodybuilding, right? Because before that, Phil won 7 in a row, so Shawn kind of started a new era, a new dawn, basically, and then
And he never even got redemption ever. It's no fair.
did he tell you anything privately about did he have any plans to were they gonna let him compete eventually, or did he tell you anything about that?
I would ask him for sure. When are you stepping on stage? And he says he would just prepare, in case they'd let him. He'd always like stay like at it in case they gave him the switch and he can just go 180. That's what he told me. You know, so that's why he never like really got small, and that's why he was continuing to bulk. He told me he was up to 300 at one point, which he's never really been. So he was really on it. And just preparing for when they pull the trigger and let him. So he's prepared.
It's hard to even even think about this, right? But the people that obviously I'm not talking about you, but I know a lot of the rhetoric right now is, well, the industry kind of did this to him, right? Like, do you think people in the industry, without naming specific names, should have, I guess, maybe stood up and said, well, or did some kind of action where they all united and say, well, we're not going to compete till Shawn is allowed to compete, or something like that? I know it sounds corny, but you know what I mean. Do you think people should have done more for him?
That is not corny. That is amazing. I think that would have been phenomenal to see, and I think that would have touched a lot of people. And that would have been cool if that could have happened, man. I just think bodybuilders are scared to lose their sport and lose their paycheck, over an incident with Shawn. But that would have been so cool to see, man, because if no one's competing, dude, let's be real, those people aren't going to make their money. So they would have had to let Shawn back. So it could have definitely probably worked for sure.
Well, again, like I said, I don't know anything that happened behind the scenes with what was going on. You know what I'm saying? All I heard is bits and pieces, and and now he's gone. So I don't think we'll ever really find out exactly what what I mean, what was going on behind the scenes, as far as what was happening behind him competing and not competing. But we'll never really find out the real story now at this point, because he never really spoke about it. He never really fully revealed anything, and I think obviously because he couldn't really talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's sad, man. So I hate to compare the situations, right? Because again, it can be completely unrelated. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, we have George Peterson passed away just 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? No, this happened to Shawn. There was another death a couple of weeks ago. It seems like a lot of people just getting more and more concerned and scared. You know what I mean? I'm seeing what people are writing to us in the emails. What do you think is going to happen to the bodybuilding industry? Do you think it's going to shape differently going forward? I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen.
No, it'll all stay the same.
Hmm.
That's what I think. I don't think too many people. I mean, a little change, but nothing crazy. You know, that's just what I think.
I mean, God forbid, what if something else happens? Like, whoa, as far as somebody getting hurt or something. I mean, not even dying, but just on more news will come. Because the thing is, like, we don't know. Like, we know people die, right? But we don't know what's going on when it comes to health to a lot of different athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like, something might have happened, but they don't ever reveal it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't know. I guess I keep seeing a lot of people writing to us and they're saying, well, it should be monitored and it should be more regulated. Like, I don't know what that means.
No, they're not going to do that. They don't want to change anything in the bodybuilding stage. They're not going to monitor like what you take and stuff like that. It's just going to keep on going. It's just going to be the same. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to make any changes. I know it. They're not going to cut diuretics or drug tests or anything like that. They're just going to keep it how it is, man.
I guess the only thing you can do is it's either it's fully monitored or it's not. Like, you can't be like, okay, we have to only do this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't put levels on it. It's either yes or no, that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Honestly, that's all I really want to talk about. It's just the Shawn Rhoden today. It's a sad week. It's hard to really talk about other topics right now. It's not something that I even want to get into. But I guess lastly, what kind of legacy you think Shawn left in this industry and the bodybuilding? Like, how do you think he's going to be remembered years to come?
Well, just being on Mr. Olympia alone is legendary. So that's a title he'll have for life, in the bodybuilding community. And the 2018 Mr. Olympian champion, um, that's something right there that you can't touch. But other than that, everyone knows, that's come and got a picture with him or talked to him in the gym or just followed his social media. Everybody knows, he was like a gentle giant. He was very kind. He was very positive and he was very humble. And there's not a lot of people like that. I don't even want to name names, but I know a Mr. Olympian who's won many times, and was nothing like Shawn was. Nothing. So that didn't really have anything to do with what I'm talking about. But I'm just a little sad,
Yeah,
thinking about it right now.
I understand.
My words are all over the place, but yeah, man, it really sucks, dude. It really hit me hard because he was just so nice, and every time I'd see him in the gym, we'd talk for a while, and it was awesome to hear how he was doing, and he'd always ask what I'm up to and what my next plan is, and he's just a kind, awesome dude, man. So yeah, it definitely hurt, man. Definitely gonna miss seeing his face in the gym, man, and that motivation.
Yeah, definitely. But did he live in he lived in Las Vegas too?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I remember he used to live in Venice, I think, right? LA, right? For a minute.
Yeah.
I think
He
so.
didn't live in LA. He didn't live in LA. He was like 2 hours away from LA.
Oh, okay.
But he would drive to Venice all the time. It was
Yeah, because I saw him
crazy.
in Venice. Yeah, I saw him in Venice a couple of times.
Yeah, he would always drive there. He would just like I'd feel really bad for his car, the miles he put on his car, because like he'd be driving that 2 hours all the time.
Hmm. Well, listen, I just want to say rest in peace to Shawn. Um, he definitely a very unique bodybuilder who brought a lot to bodybuilding, and just want to say condolences to his family.
Absolutely. And this little girl.
Absolutely. All right, Craig, let's wrap it up, man. Let's continue next week. Hopefully we get some better news to talk about.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care, man.